Hello. I've enjoyed reading almost all your introductory posts on the discussion section of the Canvas site for English 248A. There were a handful late last night that I will read later today. In your public posts, as well as in your private emails, you have shared more questions than concerns. So I want to take time to answer some of the most common questions for all of you. Let's start with a series of related questions about the purchasing of the textbooks and the reading of them. When do you need the textbooks? If you need to spread out the purchasing of the textbooks, we will start reading the Norton Anthology of World Literature next week. So please purchase that first. We will not be reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius or Utopia by Thomas More until the second half of the course. So you can take more time to explore your options for accessing copies of Meditations and Utopia. Will we read full books or shorter excerpts? Whenever possible, my preference is for us to read full books. Will you need to translate any of the books? Definitely not. This is an English class, so all of the texts we will read have been translated from their original languages into English. My preference, by the way, is to assign texts that were not originally written in English. Even Utopia, which is by an English author, was originally written in Latin. How many pages will you be assigned to read in a week? Please take a look at the class schedule at the end of the syllabus, which specifies how many pages you'll be reading in each of the first 10 weeks of the class. Now, I'll answer some common questions not related to the textbooks. There was a question about the timing of the modules for English 248A. For the most part, new materials will be posted on our Canvas site on Mondays, and many of the assignments will be due on Sundays. There will be times, though, when assignments are due on different days. One way I will communicate the due dates to you and your classmates is through the announcements that will accompany the posting of new materials. There was a question about lectures for the class. I'll be recording relatively short lectures for the class, which will be posted in the modules section of this Canvas site. If there are any slides that accompany a lecture, they will also be posted. There was a question about Zoom. As this online course is asynchronous, we will not be having any class sessions on Zoom. I will likely use Zoom to facilitate some of my office hours, though. There were some questions about essays. Because this is a literature class, you will be writing interpretive essays. In that type of essay, you'll support interpretive claims about the literature with textual evidence. And yes, we'll have opportunities to peer review one another's essays. There was a question about recording yourselves. For example, to provide peer reviews to your classmates. No, you will not have to record yourselves. There was a question about group assignments. No, you will not be having group assignments. There was a question about the exams. The exams will be based on the contents of the text and of the lectures and/or slides about them. There was a question about how interactive our professional relationship will be as teacher and students. Well, someone asked this question in a discussion post yesterday, and I'm answering it in a video today. So, very interactive. In all seriousness, I will interact with you often, mostly through announcements, emails, and comments on your contributions to our discussions. By way of managing expectations, though, I will mention that I put a lot of thought into the timing of my comments. Because I do not want to exert too great of an influence on our discussions, I often do not comment on those posts until the discussion has closed. And often, my comments will be sent to you as individuals at the same time that I'm recording grades. Those were the questions in the introductory posts and early emails that I thought you would all want to know the answers to. Finally, this is a question that no one has asked yet, but you may be asking it now while watching this video. Why do you have a purple door in your home, Professor? Are you a huge fan of the sitcom Friends? Honestly, not a huge fan. But I am married to one, and I've promised my spouse that we will have a purple door in every home that we own together. This is the second. If you think of another question about English 248A, please either email me at cgreen@cerritos.edu or send a message to my inbox on Canvas. Please also feel free to participate in my online office hours from 11 to 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays.